Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Little Fallout Boy for Vanessa checking in from Aurora today. Getting ready for Riot Fest. And 2 weeks from Friday, Riot Fest is here. Holy crap. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for sports, sponsored by the Marquee Network. Stream Cubs baseball at watchmarquee.com.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Vanessa from Aurora also said she was actually streaming the Cubs baseball game.
Oh, there you go.
Last night, which was kind of rough. Pretty rough. Cubs had a chance to rebound from losing to the crappy Pirates the night before, and boy, they didn't. Lost to the Pirates 5-0, and now they're 4.5 games out of the wild card. It's just dropping, you see. Kenzie's method was don't worry about it until September, and they certainly were on a tear the last couple of weeks. Got it close to 3 games from the wild card. Now you're 4.5 games out. They got to avoid the sweep today with the Pirates. That's not good.
Okay. Now, listen, I worked really hard last night. I had to talk my husband off of an insane Cubs ledge, okay?
Is this after the loss last night or before
Yes.
it? Okay.
And he was losing his mind. He's like,
Sure.
it's over, it's done, it's it. And I'm like, could you relax? Like, it's 4.5 games. We should have won these last 2. That doesn't mean that, like, the Braves and stuff aren't going to have a few games that they should have won and didn't. I'm like, how about we breathe? How about we get there? We could go on a winning streak. Somebody else could lose too. Like, it's right there. If we win and somebody else loses, boom. It's very high up. That's already a few spots.
So what you're saying is, if
There's
the
a
Cubs
chance.
win and someone else loses, we're good. Got
Yeah.
it. Got
Like,
it.
how about we breathe? How about we breathe?
How'd that work?
There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of
Yeah, it
anger
didn't
in the
work.
house.
Yeah. It's rough. Listen, because when you're right there, it's almost worse than being just waiting for the playoffs. It's worse because you're sitting here every game on edge, and when you blow one against the crappy Pirates too, actually, it's frustrating as hell. After what they've done the last couple weeks, as I mentioned before Sunday's game, 99 runs in 10 games. Crazy. The bats are on fire. But not so much last night. Now, the White Sox also like that number 0. They lost to the Orioles 9-0. Here's a stat. I keep trying to struggle to find statistics on this season.
Well, I don't think you have to struggle. I think you have to struggle to keep up with the amount of statistics we're getting from the White Sox.
Correct, but they seem like everybody has them. And this one just hit me like I haven't heard somebody say it like this. And I went through it. The White Sox are 5-45 in the last 50 games. 5-45.
Mm-hmm.
That hits different, doesn't it?
It's probably not good.
Well, I understand. Yeah. No team has been that bad for 50 games in over 100 years.
What was going on 100 years ago, huh?
Horse and buggies. That's what was going on 100 years ago.
Was
That's
it?
how bad the White Sox are.
Was it horse and buggy time?
Cars were just coming around. 100 years ago.
Be a famous baseball
No.
player.
1924, there were cars. There were cars.
Yeah, but they weren't good.
There was no more horse
They
and
were going,
buggies.
"Awooga."
Hold on. Yeah. That was very funny,
Awooga.
Kenzie. But hold on. Most people still had horses at that point.
They did not ride horses to work in 1924.
How'd they get to work, Brian?
They took the car.
No, not everybody had
Were
a
they
car.
on those really tall bikes if you didn't have a car?
That's right.
That could have been number 2. It could have been Cars 1, Tall Bikes 2.
I will
Or
say,
three.
if you want to make a reference, people were still getting polio.
Well, yeah, they were doing that in the 40s, too. I mean, polio was in its prime in the 1920s.
That's what Tiny Tim had. What did Tiny Tim have?
He had nothing. He just was Tiny Tim.
No, yes he did. From Scrooge, he was sick.
Oh, from Scrooge. I thought you meant like the comedian. There was a comedian, Tiny Tim.
No. What are you talking about?
The guy who played the
sick kid.
Tiny Tim played the ukulele and went tiptoe
What
through the
I thought Tiny
tulips.
Tim had polio, not the comedian.
Okay.
The sick kid from Scrooge.
Okay. I think
You don't know what he had?
I think you may be right on that one.
Oh, he had a lot of stuff going on.
What do you have?
They said that he had rickets, tuberculosis, polio, and cerebral palsy. Who hated this kid? This was an option. You were writing a story.
Put
Very
me out
bad.
of my misery.
Yeah, very bad.
Lord.
Anyway, he wasn't the White Sox, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no, Tiny Tim would have been the White Sox best player with polio and tuberculosis.
But he was good with his little stick. He could have hit a ball that they walked around with it all day.
So the White Sox need to win 11 to not be the worst team in Major League Baseball history.
They can win 11.
You think?
Yeah.
5-45 in the last 50.
They already got 5.
They don't have 50 games left. No, that doesn't count.
You can't use it? You can't carry the 5?
The 5 wins doesn't count.
You can't carry it?
No, you can't carry the 1.
It's a layaway plan.
Oh.
This call from the Orioles last night pretty much says it all. So this is former White Sox Eloy Jimenez. He popped a ball into shallow left field that caused a collision between third baseman Miguel Vargas and left fielder Andrew Benintendi. Vargas would later be forced to leave the game due to an eye injury suffered on this play. This was brutal looking, but here's the Orioles announcer on the play.
Yeah, and the truth is, if you have great stuff, you can challenge over the white part of the plate a little bit more and let your stuff
Here's the
just
collision.
play. If you don't, you better figure out.
Oh, no! Oh, my goodness. The White Sox have just gone full White Sox.
What?
They've gone full White Sox by the two players colliding with each other and looking like the Benny Hill show, falling apart and dropping the ground.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That's what
That's
happened.
a bummer. That's the highlight? That's what we're going to play?
Yeah, well, that's the Orioles announcer. That's where we're at. Couple weeks left out of the misery, but we're looking they will not win 11 games in the next 3 weeks.
Maybe the Bears will win 11 games. Maybe that'll count towards the White Sox record.
According to Kenzie's math, that's what'll work, right? Carry the Bears wins over the White Sox.
Yeah, they only have 6 more to go, baby.
Speaking of which, I got my Caleb Williams jersey yesterday.
Did you really?
I did, and I went to Rally House that you guys both recommended highly right by Wrigley Field over there. That store is ridiculous. It's humongous, and it's got a billion choices for what you want. Rally House is awesome. What they didn't have was an extra large Caleb Williams jersey.
Really?
They had a bunch of smalls and mediums. Now I get out, the season starts this week, so maybe they're just out for the moment, and they said I could go to their website and get one. But instead, I'm sorry, Rally House, you're a great store. But I went next door to Lids, their evil competitor that Case used to be a manager
Evil
of.
competitor.
Would you call them an evil competitor?
I would call them a competitor.
But both of the people want to. They're right next door. They built the store next to the other one at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, there's like 8 other sports stores besides those 2 also.
But those are brand new. Those are like both like right in there.
Are
Like
they all evil besides Rally House?
what? Not evil. I mean that they consider themselves big rivals. They don't like each other.
Big.
Right? Case
That's correct.
Case was a manager at Lids at like 16 years
Did it
old.
bother
19.
you? Did it bother you if you saw another sports store?
When I worked at Lids, absolutely. I was
See?
incredibly territorial.
Then
so
don't
weird.
don't
When
disagree
I
with
worked at
me.
Famous Dave's, when I somebody else serving barbecue, I was like, ah! I was like, all right, you do you. I think we'll be fine.
Listen, when I worked at the golf course in high school, I drove by another golf course. I turned my car onto their fairway and gave them a lawn job. That's what I
And
did.
Spit on it.
That's right.
Jeez. It just seems unnecessary.
But I want to say, my guy over there at Lids, he said, like, what do you need, boss? Walked right in. I go, like, well, you probably don't have it, but I need a Caleb Williams extra large jersey. Are you out? He goes, I got plenty. Come on in. Gave me the jersey and then said, do you need anything else? I go, listen, $130 was my budget from the wife today. I'm good, sir.
How much does jersey cost?
$130.
Exactly.
Exactly $130.
Wow.
No tax. It was a little bit more tax.
Oh, the tax.
Megan was letting me go on the tax there. But he goes,
Very
listen.
nice of her.
But then he goes, we got a BOGO going on. Buy one, get a hat for half off. And I said,
Don't they always have that? I feel like I see the BOGO signs every time I walk into Lids.
I don't know, but that got me. I said, I'm going to go look at some Lids over here. And I got myself a badass new hat, a $40 hat for $19.
Is it a Bears hat?
It's a Bears hat. You want to see it?
Good.
got the
You can
hat.
bring it to London.
Do you have your jersey? Because you brought the Lids bag with you.
You brought it in?
It's like show and tell.
I'm so happy. I'm
me
like
too.
I'm like a kid that's never bought anything before.
Oh, I want to see it on. Put it on.
I don't want to put it on because I don't want to mess up my hair.
For who?
I got to go sign a will
Your
later
hair's
on today
an-
with a
it's an
lawyer.
inch long.
No, it'll
Where's
mess
it
it all
gonna
up.
go?
I'll put it on later. But isn't it a badass hat? And Case informed me because he knows Lids that this is the hat that the coaches are going to be wearing on the sideline this year.
Oh, you're looking at coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be
What's
a damn
the
coach.
N on the side?
The N is Chicago Bears for the NFC.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
NFC there. It says Chicago Bears. It's a cool circular logo with the NFC there. And then the other back has a GSH for George Hallis.
That one I know. Thank you. I just didn't know the N.
And that's a bear on the front.
That's enough.
All right. There's your sports. Let's get people on the phones to compete with Kenzie in trivia. 312-591-8300. We have tickets for St. Vincent. Sold out show at the Metro on Wednesday, September 18th. We've talked about the Offspring show we're giving away for the pop-up on the 19th. And then, of course, Riot Fest is that whole weekend. All those bands playing there. But these intimate settings, you can only get in through us. So 312-591-8300. The Metro, St. Vincent. She is ridiculous. I love watching her play guitar more than anything. And in a setting like that where you can get that close up and just see her shred. Pretty awesome. So 312-591-8300. Call to compete against Kenzie in trivia. Clash with Kenzie right now.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
You can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Clash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin.
Q101.
Let's go. It is Clash with Kenzie, sponsored by the Schaumburg Boomers.
Feel the boom.
For tickets, visit boomersbaseball.com. These are for St. Vincent tickets from our great friends at the Metro. At the Metro, Wednesday, September 18th. That is a sold-out show. And competing for those tickets is Ava in Westmont. Ava, ahoy. Tell us something really quick about yourself.
Ahoy. I just started my internship at Compass Health Centers as a group therapist intern.
Wow. Well, congratulations. Ooh. And what does that involve so far? Like, what do you want to be?
My goal is to work in the clinical work, but right now I'm just trying to finish out my master's in social work.
Wow.
Noble.
Very noble. Special shelf in heaven for you later on.
Mm-hmm. That's what I heard.
Does it make you just feel like you've done nothing?
Yes.
Yep.
Not me. You guys maybe.
I know you
And what exactly does that mean? You're going to be a therapist, or are you going to do research?
My goal is to do therapy. Right now I'm doing research for my school, too.
What school do you go to?
Western Michigan.
Right on, West. I went to Bowling Green State University. Let's go, Maction, baby. Let's go.
Settle down.
You sound much more excited about the Mac than Ava does.
Yes. She went to study, Brian.
Yeah, I certainly majored.
I know.
I majored in beer bongs at Bowling Green.
That's why you're here now.
Oh, yeah. All right, first 1 to 5 wins. Listen carefully, Ava, that if Kenzie gets one wrong, you can steal a point. She can do the same to you. Call heads or tails, Ava.
Heads.
It is heads. And there you go.
She knows everything. She's smart.
That's right.
All right, Ava, question number 1. What leaf appears on the Canadian flag?
Maple?
Maple is right.
Do you know that their money smells like it?
Smells like maple?
It smells like kind of syrupy. You smell it.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of like a scratch and sniff.
Do you think that's intentional, or there's just so much maple syrup around that the money starts to smell like it?
Case, I have no idea.
Okay, all right.
I just have smelled it.
I will back off.
Everyone's like, you have to smell this. And I'm like, I did. And I'm like, holy crap. This is awesome.
Now, are you aware
What?
that American money, 90% of it has cocaine residue on it?
90?
90%.
That adds up, because I bet most of our dollar bills have gone through a strip club.
A strip club, or we used to roll it up $1 and snort coke through it, I've heard.
Yeah, right. You're doing the motions. What do you mean you've heard? You just physically acted it out in front of me, how you rolled it, and you put it in, you just did it.
I've heard.
But I've heard this is exactly how it goes.
Then you like this.
I've heard.
All right.
Okay.
Back to the question.
It's 1-0 back to Kenzie.
Kenzie, staying with flags in a way, what 3 colors would you find on the Australian flag? What 3 colors?
Oh, God. The Australian flag?
Yeah.
What was Raygun wearing? Did she have the flag on her? She wore green and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see another base color, so I'm going to say white.
I know. Ava, do you know?
I do not, but I'll take a guess.
Go ahead.
We'll do blue, green, and yellow.
Blue, green. It's red, white, and blue like America. The
What was
Australian
she
flag.
wearing then?
Certainly nothing representing her country.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was an interpretation of the flag.
That's a safe bet, but no, their flag looks like ours, actually. Kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, if you don't remember, Raygun was the break dancer that everybody, saw the video of the girl
And
doing.
we're using that term loosely.
Yeah.
I love that you knew her name. Great pull.
I
you
know.
go.
That's why I wanted to
Who
reference
doesn't?
that. Everybody saw her spinning like, the Three Stooges on the ground and doing that breakdancing and mocking the sport. But then allegedly she was serious, and she's actually a really good
She also
breakdancer.
rigged her chance in. She created her own panel and then put her husband on it and got herself in. It's kind of awful.
Kinda.
She wasted a lot of people's money and then disrespected the entire country, but
It's kind of funny, though.
we're kind of breezing over it. She looked funny.
Hey, she went viral. That's all that
right.
matters today.
Hey.
Got the clicks, baby.
That's really the gold medal when you think about it.
Gold medal and
Okay.
clicks.
All right, 1-0 back to Ava.
Yeah, we're going slow here, huh?
Are we still playing?
Ava, Who do the Chicago Bears open their season against this Sunday?
Oof.
So guess a football team. I know you're studying a lot, so you're not keeping up with sports, but
I don't do sports like Cardinals.
Cardinals is not right, but at least you guessed the team. That's always guess. Kenzie.
Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans. And I will be there in the parking lot. So on the south lot, who wants to meet me? He has some nice hot dogs. You just hit me up.
Okay. That was a lot to take in.
So I'm going to go to
Are you going to be there with hot dogs?
No.
Or are you asking someone to invite you so you can eat their hot dogs?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, second one.
Because that was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was messier than Reagan.
I'd love to hang out with your tailgate. Maybe I'll bring some Q101 stuff to throw you too.
That'd be
So
a great
you're
idea.
just going to be in the parking lot without a place to be.
Correct.
Okay. That's good to know.
I might have our bear with us.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Our bear.
We have
Yeah.
a bear costume.
Oh.
Yeah.
Got
Picnic
it.
bear. Picnic bear.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
101, back to Kenzie.
Kenzie, the company IBM specializes in what?
Is it, I mean, I think, I don't know if I have to be more specific, but it's like technology.
Not looking for technology, something a little more specific. IBM, Ava, what do they specialize in?
Finance?
No. Wow, it's a sad day for IBM. Computers. They were probably much the first computer company.
Technology!
Okay, technology and computers, not the same.
Together!
Okay, technology covers a lot of bases.
101, back to Ava.
Ava, Ken Jennings, James Holzhauer, and Amy Schneider all found long-term success on what televised game show?
Saturday Night Live?
No, oh, this is gonna take a while. Kenzie?
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy's right. There you go. And Ken Jennings actually, they host it now.
That's right.
Back to
Kenzie, 2-1.
Kenzie, what type of mustache is named after a part of a bicycle?
Handlebar.
Handlebar mustache.
Now
Kenzie's
we're
got
cooking.
3. All right. Ava, you're smart. How many years?
You never have started my question like that. It's so messed up.
Ava, how many years are in a semi-centennial?
500?
500 is not right. Kenzie, how many years in a semi-centennial?
It's a centennial is 100 years, isn't it?
I can't answer that.
Okay. Is I don't know.
3.
If it's 100 years,
2.
is it 50?
Right before the buzzer, it's 50 because it's semi-centennial.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to do the math.
Uh-huh.
Good.
And now back to Kenzie.
This is back to Kenzie for the win.
Oh, boy. I'm just going in order of the questions.
What?
Kenzie, where did Harold and Kumar go in their cult hit 2004 movie? Oh, that's a shame.
Thank God it wasn't about a flag again, you know?
Ava, we adore you. See what I did there? Ava adore. See what I did there? Uh-huh.
Very cute.
Okay. Anyway, thank you so much. Good luck with your studies. And I'm sorry you didn't win today.
That's okay. Thanks for letting me play. My dad got to listen, so it was a fun morning.
Oh, right
She's
on.
just so cute.
Well, you and your dad can keep listening right now, and after we play Mike Shinoda, we will give away those tickets to St. Vincent, so you have a good chance still to win. Everybody listening will when you hear God Bless the Baby. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Before we get you on the phones for the St. Vincent tickets, because Kenzie won in trivia, so everybody's got a chance at him for the sold-out show at the Metro. We just played Mike Shinoda there, of course, from Lincoln Park. Side project, solo stuff he's been doing in the last couple of years, like a lot of the guys in the band. But tomorrow, 5 o'clock, our time here in Chicago, make sure you're listening to Brian Phillips, because he's our afternoon guy, our great, wonderful afternoon guy, Brian Phillips. So that's when the event that the countdown last week started. That's when it's going to all happen. That's when they're going to announce what they're doing, what is happening. And I'm fired up about it. I've been thinking about it ever since last week when the countdown happened, because it's a band that truly honored Chester by going away when he tragically passed away 7 years ago. And a lot of bands, find somebody and keep moving. They keep the machine going. They did not. And it's been a long time. There's been little bits and pieces here of stuff we've gotten, but nothing new. We don't know what's happening either. But at 5 o'clock tomorrow, make sure you're listening to Q101. Brian Phillips will have all the information for you when it drops. And I cannot wait. I'm so curious about what's going to happen. So much speculation on new singer, new material. And, they haven't, they've kept it all pretty quiet, which is pretty hard to do back in the day. I remember with that band when they were making Meteora after their, huge success, and this kind of dates what happened, but back then music would leak because somebody in a studio would put some music on a thumb drive and then put it up on Napster or Kazaa or whatever. It would get on the internet. And they were so paranoid back then that they had metal detectors on the way in and out of the studio to make sure no one would leave the studio with any kind of hard drive, that material of the music, so it would not leak out.
What if you had like a belt on?
Well, you'd have to take it off and then...
It was like TSA?
Yeah. It was,
you keep going through?
TSA until they figured out what was up so they could make sure no one would leave the studio with any kind of hard drive that had material on it.
Wow.
So that's the kind of band they are. They've kept this pretty quiet. A lot of speculation what's going on tomorrow at 5, but no verification of what's happening. So that's the time to be listening for sure to Brian Phillips at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
God bless the baby.
Right now, don't stress. Just call 312-591-8300. St. Vincent tickets at the Metro. It's sold out. You've got them from the Metro and Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.